Hello, guys. The nightly writing part 24. How did I almost forget that? But I hope you guys enjoyed the new, well, to you guys, but to me, she's not. But about the OC Soul. I feel like I will definitely change her name because, yeah, Soul means sun in Spanish, but also, kind of just, it's kind of bland, kind of plain, but who knows, really? Who knows? A lot of things might change in the future. But let's put Fallon as the page holder and let's get to work. Toro. Okay, let's see. I did say I was gonna talk about lore. Well, no. Power setting, no. Power system. And what's else? Power system. More about her clan. Well, no. Damn, how did I forget already? It was definitely power system, more about her clan, and more about her, well, her blessing too. Oh, design, right. I was gonna talk about her design. Okay, so let's get started. So, design wise, I should probably start. Design wise, she, at the start of the story, so I want her story, like her design, to change. Like again, every character there's design kind of, well, not the design, but like specific characteristics about them change. For instance, Senko. At the start of his story, he has very rounded eyes. They're very round, not like this, but they're very rounder. They're much rounder. At the end of his story, you can probably see through the paper. By the end of his story, they are much sharper to reflect, his change. They're sharp, they're jagged, he has eye bags under them now. To show again his change from this soft, kind person to a person who's lost and gone through so much. But with Soul, I want her to do the opposite. Where when she begins, her eyes are sharp, but they're not too sharp. They're not like this sharp. They're rounded in specific areas. But like she is very much not tired, but well, I'm tired. But she's like, again, she's the average worker. She's has a personality like, I'm not paid enough for this. This is just not what this is. That is very much her as a character. So she goes from like more kind of sharp eyes to more relaxed, where they're not so tense anymore. She has rounder edges. She has a rounder curve here, and they're overall much softer. They're still stern, she still has a very stern look about her. But now, as with her with her growth, she's very more. She's softer now. She still is, a person who will not take any disrespect. She won't take anything to her. Well, no, that's not how you say it. How long? 2 more minutes. She won't take any. She won't take any shit. She won't let you disrespect her. She won't let you disrespect her friends, people she cares about. She's very much a character who, even from the beginning, not paid enough for this, to the end, where she's very, she's willing. Well, she's willing, but she's willing to do things for others now. She's a leader. She becomes a leader. She knows when to step in. She knows when to lead. She knows when to, support. She knows. She now is a definition of a leader. So she, like, her design from the beginning of the story goes, sharper kind of edges, more like bland. She has like very a bland design at the start, because to empathize that she's just the average person. She has, the average outfit for a worker who's, with like building materials. Her, like, she is, she doesn't have like a big hairstyle. Her hair is usually tied, because again, she's a like, she is a, like, not construction, but she's a worker, like with the field. Well, no, that'd be a farmer. She works with like debris, like heavy stones. So a lot of the times her hair's tied up. She has her like sleeves rolled up. She has like, jeans that, show like tear and wear. She's very much, her design is very much goes from like kind of like bland, average, to more to her style. At the end of the story, she gains, well, not she, well, how do I say this? She has more style to it, where she looks more like a leader. Her clothes are, better. She has a better, like, she has a coat now instead of, just like, worn down, like a button up. She has an actual coat with like the symbol of her clan on the back. She has, she still likes her sleeves rolled up, but they're now neatly rolled up. They're not like, how when you roll up a sleeve, you kind of just take it and you start rolling in it. She has actual, like, a proper rolled up. Her hands are still rugged from all the work, and even now, even as a leader, she still works. She still likes being active. With her hairstyle is tied up, but it's cleaner, because as a worker and like when it comes to like rocks, debris, construction, she didn't really care about her hair. She kind of just went with it. She washed it with water and soap, but she didn't really care about it. She kind of just went with it. But now as a leader, like, now that she has a bit more time and she has more resources to her, she actually does take care of it. It's still tied up, but you can tell the difference between the beginning and the end, where she has, like, her hair is like more clean, like more. It's like her. It's more her color now, because at the start it was like rugged. You can barely. She has reddish, or, well, she has like a deep red orangish hair. So I don't know how I can say this. A deep red. So, like, imagine this red with, like, well, no, not that red. A much darker red. I don't know how to, like, what? I'm looking around my room to see if I can grab a red that's dark. Does this work? Kind of. No, this is like orange. It looks very orange on the camera. Let's see. Nope, don't have anything there. No, that's very. It's like, imagine. I'm trying to think of like red you can imagine. But like, imagine. What can I imagine? Blood? I mean, yeah, like, imagine like a deep crimson red, and like in the tips, or like they're like a little lighter to show like orange, but it's very much deep red. Her hair, it's a very deep red, almost brown. It's like a brownish deep red with like the tips like a bit orange. In the start, it looked, you can see kind of like a little bit of like the red, but you can barely tell. You thought she had like just brown hair, but now you can see the actual colors in her hair. And she has like she just looks better all composed, like a leader. She looks very much more like a leader than than the average construction worker. Design, I think that's pretty much it for design. Oh, the mark on her back, the thing that told everyone, oh, look, this last sunburn. The sun mark is something every person, and that if you're a part of the sun bears, you are born with it. Basically, it can be anywhere. It can be on your palm. It can be on the palm. Well, no, on the palm, at the back of your hand, on your arm. It can be in your neck, it can be on your cheek, it can be on your leg, on your back, on your stomach, it can be anywhere on your chest, whatever. But it is always a tiny sun with like little like sun things going around. I'm trying to make a sun, but it's not working. But it's always a sun mark. It always looks like a sun, no matter what. And the way this happened is because with the first sun bearer, long centuries ago, which was actually one of the first, I could go into lore, but they were the first chosen to receive the blessing of the sun, which allowed them to do things with the sun, like control the heat, control the flames of the sun, if you depending on the user, if you were strong, you can make a mini sun. Later on, the first chosen was in legend, it was told that they were able to create a sun the size of a city and bring it down on their enemies. I'll go more into the legends in probably a video when I talk about the Great War of Humanity. But it was legends that the first sun bearer received the blessing of the sun by the concept of life. And with this blessing, they basically wiped out their enemies, and from there on they protected their lands. And this blessing would be passed on from generation to generation. When the last generation sunbird died from either old age or in battle or whatever, a new sun bearer would be chosen to receive the blessing. It could be at any age, because again, it all depends on when the last sun bearer dies. So if they die when they're old, it also depends on who's the chosen. It could be a baby, it could be a not a senior because they're almost undead, but it could be like a person in their 30s and their 40s. If they're capable of fighting good or being good, if they meet the requirements, then you could be chosen. And the way you know if you're chosen is that you would receive a mark. Well, no, everyone would have a mark, but the way actually no, because in this one with the clan, I actually might have the last sunbear before Soul be killed during the slaughter of the sunbearers, and then that would make Soul the next chosen. But basically, the way to tell if you are chosen or if you're going to be chosen is that your mark specifically will have a special thing about it. For Soul is that it can be many things. It could be that your soul, your thing has a different pattern to it, or maybe it's a different color, because every pattern is the same. You are just born with it, because the original sun bearer was given the blessing, and that blessing gave him the mark of the sun, and then that mark passed even if you were not related to him. As soon as you become a part of the clan, you become you basically become, you share an aspect with him. You give, how can I say, I need to find a reasoning to it, but for now, I think the reasoning would be that as soon as you join, you basically give your life to the clan. Not so much you end yourself, but you put your life's work towards the clan and towards protecting others. So from the first generation, again, is the people who join. So if you join, you won't have the mark. But if you have kids while in the clan, your children will have the mark because you joined it. So your descendants will have them. So first generation, only he had the mark, and then generation, the mark started to appear, and then now everyone who's a part of the clan has it. And from there we go. Oh. What was I talking about? Oh, right. Soul. With Soul's mark specifically, what made it different from other, people is that because when you're born, usually your mark, you could have your mark when you're born immediately, but it's very rare, and that's not a way to say you're chosen, because it can happen. Most people has done it, but usually when you are born in the Sun Clan, your mark appears around when you're 2 to 1. And usually it's about the size of like a coin. And as you grow, it grows with you. And the max size, it could be as an adult, will be about this. I'd say as if it goes from like a penny to like a sand dollar. I think sand dollars. No, that can't be that, right? It goes from like a penny to like this. That's how that's how big it will grow. But with Soul specifically, it appeared on her back at a young age, when she was literally she was born 2 months later. No, a month later, she had the mark on her back. But what made it so different from others and made it a reason that she could be chosen was that her mark as a baby was already the size of an adult. And we see this when she's 15, 16, when the guards see that little mark on her back. Not little at this point, but it went from the size of an adult to this big. And when she's an adult, her mark is this big on her back. So it's about, imagine it's about this big, that big as an adult. And again, the average adult, well, no, not even the average, every adult, their mark gets as big as this. And her was literally the size of, almost the size of this page. And that's why she was seen as a potential, a potential chosen. It did not mean she was gonna be chosen, but it was very much she has potential to be a chosen when the last sun bearer dies. It so happened to be that she would definitely be chosen, because that a month later, when she's 2 months, on a night, the entire sun bearer clan is slaughtered. So there's no more other clan to be, chosen. So process of elimination, you could say. But let's see. I talked about her design, talked more about the Sun Clan. Power or blessing. In my stories, you're not given a power. You're not born with powers. You're not given a power per se. I'll talk more about this in a video where I talk about the settings. But it's very much you have to meet a criteria for things known as deities for you to gain an actual ability. And Soul is the chosen of light. Well, the concept of light. And so she is giving the blessing of the sun. And so she has basically the abilities of a sun. From chosen to chosen, it'll range. Some chosen were able to literally wield the power of a sun. Some people were only able to create fire. They were still very hot fires. Some people were able to float. It all depends on the person. But Soul so far has the most abilities, where she's able to create fire, this basically flames of the sun. later in like near, not the end, but like later around the third part of her story, she's able to actually create a sun. And in the final battle, she's able to create a giant sun. So to prove like the legends were actually true, that it is possible, but it took a giant toll on her that almost put her, out for good. And then you have, well, she could technically fly. It's more like she could float. So technically, it's not flying. It's just floating because she can't really, she can't fly. She only floats. But still, it's something. And then I think that's, well, floating, the powers to wield the sun, fires. Also, is that when she uses her ability, she becomes unnaturally hot, not in like beauty way, but like in the temperature way, where the more she uses her ability, the hotter she gets, to the point where she becomes really, really hot that if you even touch her, you will burn your hand. But yeah, it's cool. Again, I want to flesh out more. Like, not again, as I said, I'll probably say this a lot of these times, a lot of these videos. None of this is permanent. None of these abilities, no abilities, they are definitely like concrete. But none of this like writing is. None of this is set in stone. Like I might change things up, who knows? But none of this is, actually set in stone. I will like, these are very much just my ramblings. They are not like actually there, or well, I have some written down in like journals, but like, things change. If like this might stay the same next year, or I might have a completely different story for her. Who knows? The beauty of writing, do I say? Oh yeah, voice wise. I didn't say this for Senko. I'll add this real quick. Senko has like a very raspy, well, ended story after his trauma. He has a very like raspy, not deep, well, kind of deep, but it's a very raspy, kind of deep voice. Soul has a very, she has again a kind of a deep voice, but it's very imposing, very like you can tell she's a leader just by her voice. And in Faith, I'll talk about that in Faith's video. But for now, I think, again, I didn't draw a lot, but the things that happened when I actually talk about a big interest of mine. I don't write a lot. I mean, I don't draw a lot, but I'm trying to think what else I can talk about. I talked about the clan. Again, the clans, the settings, and all that will get fleshed out more when I specifically talk about them in a video by themselves. But I'd say for now, I think that's pretty much it. I already talked about her eyes. I talked about her design. I talked about but yeah, I don't think I could. Oh, well, actually, before I end this video, I do want to say every chosen has like a special eye when they use their ability. Who would have thought that when Soul uses her ability, a sun shape shows up in her eye, in her pupil, and when she gains very like more control of her ability, the sun is very much more like looks more like a sun. At first, it's like kind of a sun, but then when she actually gains like real good control of her ability, it's very much a sun. With Senko, it's very much like empty. Like you look into a pupil, right? You can see what's in your eye. You look into when he's using his ability, it looks like there's nothing. Like there's a void. Like if you look into it, there's like space. There's nothing there. I might add some things, but for now, that's just empty space. But yeah, I think that's it for Soul, anyways. Tomorrow's Saturday, so I probably will upload. I probably won't upload anything Saturday or Sunday. I might upload like a reel, not a reel, a story. God damn it, a short about like maybe a mini ramble or something. Yada yada. Who knows? But yeah, I think that's it for me for tonight. Anyways, I'm getting sleepy. I'm actually kind of hungry. I don't know why. But yeah, I think that's it. That was fun. That went up. That went pretty fast. But that will be all from me, guys. I hope you guys have a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening, and a good night. If you can, drop a like, subscribe, and if you want, drop a comment and tell me what you guys think about these new writings and these new things that I'm trying out. I might upload something again, probably a short on Saturday or Sunday. Probably not, because again, Saturday and Sunday are kind of like my rest days. I don't really want to do anything on those days. Again, I'll try and upload a short, maybe, who knows. Instagram, I'm still trying to figure things out, what to post on Instagram. I don't know if I should post like reels or if I should post just straight up post. Who knows? But for now, that is it for me. I'll see you guys probably Monday, maybe Saturday or Sunday with a short, but no guarantees. But until then, yeah. I gotta work on my endings. Even after 24 videos, I still keep rambling on at the very end. That is it for me. God damn it! I say that's it for me, and then I try and go for a good. I should probably put that at the end. Whatever. Hope you guys have a wonderful time here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.